Alright, welcome back to the WokenPodcast. Today we have Raum back. I've recorded the podcast with him previously. It's not out yet. It might be out before or after this. Just make sure to check it out whenever it's out. Today we're going to be talking about the tournament. Just speaking in general, how was the tournament, excluding any controversial stuff?
I really enjoyed it. I don't know what people were saying when it was like unorganized and shit. Sure, there was hiccups, but I mean, you're gonna get hiccup everywhere.
So with the first bracket, how were you feeling? Any nervousness, any excitement?
So against Godsby, so that was my first round. I was nervous, but I've never seen him play, and a lot of friends have told me that he doesn't play competitively or anything. He's very busy. So I was kind of happy that I didn't get someone off the bat I'd have to try my absolute hardest with. So the first round I really wanted to show off my build. So I kind of went crazy with the movement on it. That took away all of my nervousness. After that first round, I was like, yeah, okay, I've got this.
So would you say you went along with the rest of the matches in the first bracket like that?
Yeah, I feel like I went along with a breeze. Honestly, I didn't fight anyone where I thought, this guy's just genuinely better than me. I didn't feel like I hit a brick wall with anyone. Yes, I lost to Agamatsu on the first bracket, but I knew I could beat him because I knew why he won, and that was because of his extreme sustain. So I was like, yeah, I can beat that. I just need to change my enchant.
So moving to the second bracket, was that the main idea, was to change the enchant and just pull through?
Yeah, so the main idea I had was, everyone I was looking at, I researched a lot into people's builds. There was one mistake I made, and that was YpcNate's Iceberg. I've 1v1'd him before, and he never used Iceberg, so I thought he didn't have it. So I guess that was his trump card, was to hide that.
I see.
But everyone I fought, honestly, it was kind of a breeze fighting them. Though I will say, while fighting them, they weren't used to tacit dropkick. So fighting them did get them used to my tacit dropkick. So it was kind of a good and a bad thing. And that was something I did work on from the first bracket to the second bracket, was how much I used tacit dropkick. I really lowered it in the second half.
That makes sense. Yeah, you would do that. But now with your build, what was your aim really? Was it tankiness or high outburst damage in a short period of time?
My build definitely was not around tankiness. If you're seeing my video where I talk about my build tournament, without any equipment, I have 366 health. It's very squishy. The only reason I managed to get a lot of health is because a lot of people came up to me offering their health kits, which I am very grateful for. And that got me up to about 500 HP.
Wow, with just health kits?
Yep, with just the equipment. Now, I will be honest, I know for a fact all of those HP kits are duped. Ain't no way someone's finding a 33 health chest piece 8 times. that ain't happening. They all had the same kit. I know for a fact that shit's duped. That shit needs to be removed.
If you were going for tankiness, were you going for damage?
It wasn't even damage. It was mobility and movement. It was utility. So a lot of my mantras on the first bracket was ways to kind of get in on someone. So I had rapid slashes, I had gal lunge, I had tacit drop kick, and I had glare with a wayward on it. Those 4 mantras would give me an entry point on anyone. Sure, they can parry it, but it gives me an entry point and an exit. If you saw from the clips in my video, or from other people's streams, anytime I would use a mantra, I was sliding away, or I was jumping away. As someone would say, running away. I was running away. Because
that is true.
I can't parry trade on that ping. I don't know what anyone's thinking. I don't know. What is it? A lot of people in my streams were telling me when I was fighting YpcNate or Kyle, they're stay close to him. I don't know why you want me to stay close to a Cerulean, especially one that has Yun Shou.
True.
My rapier does the same damage as his Cerulean, right? But his Cerulean has a 0.23 extra swing speed, and he also has Yun Shou, which is gonna fucking hurt. and you expect me to parry trade that? No, I'm not going to listen to you if you're going to give me bad advice. I practiced a lot for that movement. It was like non-stop. My schedule on videos went down drastically because I was practicing non-stop on how to get the movement down perfect. And I thought I had it down perfect until I started fucking up on Nano, but that's whatever.
It was worth it at the end. You got the race, but I want to, before we move to the next question, I want to mention that both Agamatsu and Raum had like really high ping, and the fact that they still managed to get in the top 3 just goes to shows the game isn't really about ping or anything like that. It's just about practice. To end it off, what would have been any changes you would make to your build after the whole tournament or after you reviewed everything?
Changes I would have made.
Yeah.
I definitely would have loved getting Dazing Finisher. I didn't get it because they upped the requirement and I didn't bother remaking the build because I already remade the build 8 times because I was trying to get everything I wanted. But Dazing Finisher with Tacit Dropkick is such a true combo, it's unreal. Because you can flourish someone and you can flourish move stack Tacit Dropkick and then that goes into another true combo. So if I had that, you would have seen some really stupid shit if I had that. Like that would have got nerfed if I had Dazing Finisher.
I see.
It would have been a true combo into a true combo.
Well, thank you for coming on the podcast again. Congrats on the race, man. How have you been enjoying it?
It's been fine. Like, it's really fun. A lot of people come up to me, say Screeny. A lot of people say, "Oh, are you a dev?" It's like, no, I'm just a YouTuber. But then you get like the people that baitly cheat. It was, what was it? The other day I was in a server full of mods, senior mods and everything, like some contributors too. And some random guy just knows where I was. He just walks up to me and starts saying, "Raum, fight me." Guy's level 60, I'm level 30. I think I was level 35. And he knew where I was. I wasn't in an obvious place. I was hidden. I was just training willpower by a tree in Upper Aresia, and he just randomly comes up to me, sprinting, saying, "Fight me." It's nice, but it puts a target on your head.
I see. Well, hopefully we can see you around sometime again. Thank you for coming on the show, and have fun with the race, man.
I appreciate you, buddy. I'll see you fuckers later. Make sure you subscribe to me and have a better day than me.
Alright guys, welcome back to the WokenPodcast. Today we have Agamatsu on the show. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just chilling right now. But
talk to me about like the tournament in general, excluding any controversial stuff. With the first bracket, how was it?
Well, you know, the first tournament was pretty cool. You know, I did enjoy playing on 200 ping, but I did enjoy fighting, and I got 3rd place, so pretty proud of that. I got my name. That's all I really care about. And yeah.
So I asked the others about this, but with the first match, were you excited? Were you nervous? Like, how are you feeling?
I was a little bit anxious at first, but as time went on, I learned and realized that like I gotta treat it like not super seriously and kind of like play around and fuck around. And I think that's when I'm performing my best. So that's kind of what I did afterwards. And I kind of joked around and I actually performed better because I was a lot more lighthearted about it and not super
So you went in
anxious.
there to have fun, pretty much.
Yeah. Also, it was a fun stream.
That sounds nice. What was the aim of your build? Was it tankiness or how high up with damage or?
Originally it was actually my build. I made it way back then. It was supposed to be for PvE, and I know it looked stupid because I was using a light weapon, but back then it really was for PvE. But it ended up like doing so well that I was like, yeah, what the hell? Like this is actually a cracked ass PvP build, and so that's what I started using it for. And over time I adjusted it to be better in higher ping because that was usually what I was doing chime on, and eventually we got to what we have now.
That's great. That sounds great. So if you could change anything about your build, what would it be?
To be honest, maybe just like a couple of the talents. Other than that, like, I mean, the build is like really solid. I don't think there's anything else I really want to change about it. Maybe more talent help if that was possible, but I think it's fine as is. So
you
yeah.
would keep the enchant the same thing.
Yeah, rapier detonation, pretty crazy. Maybe I would get like the regular instant payback because I could get a lot more value out of that in higher tier matches than shard bow. But other than that, like I love my shard bow. I think it's really fun to use with my kit. And yeah.
Well, congrats on placing third, I believe, in the tournament. Would you be participating in the other tournaments, like the one that I believe Seiji is hosting?
If I can come back to Korea in time, which I think it should be good. So yeah, I'll be participating in it. I don't know if there's any like restrictions or anything like that. Hopefully not. I can just use my bell and my side gun as is. If so, I should hopefully do well. But I know there's like a lot of good players in there who I've fought before actually, and I've managed to get them like very low or beat even. So who knows? There is definitely potential there since I'm actually able to use my bell and side gun. But you never know. Sometimes on the day of the tournament, like builds are just really good. Sometimes you mess up. It is what it is. We'll see what happens.
That sounds great. Well, it was great having you on the show again. Thank you for coming on. And shout out to the chat and listening. Make sure to check out Agamatsu in the description, and see you guys later. Alright guys, welcome back to the WokenPodcast. Today we have a special guest, Shirafune. You might know her as the Deepwoken moderator or as the YouTuber, and she goes way back from Rogue lineage. Please welcome her onto the show. Now,
thank you for having me.
If you might not know, she was a part of the recent tournament that happened. And Shirafune, in general, talk to me about how was the tournament, excluding any controversial stuff, like starting with the first bracket.
Tournament overall went really well. I think I performed pretty well first bracket, and everything on winner's side went pretty smoothly.
So, with the first bracket, or I should say the first match, was there any nervousness, or were you like certain that you were gonna get through it fine with no problems?
There was definitely some nervousness, because my first match had a lot on the line. There was a small rivalry between the first match with me representing Divers, and my opponent representing a different guild that was preparing for me, so it felt very rewarding to win. They had an obfuscation Gladius prepared since I am a shield user, but thankfully I made it through. No shade to my opponent, because it was really close.
Oh, that sounds great. And so what was the main aim of your build? Was it mainly being tanky, or explosive damage, or speed? Or was it a combination of multiple things?
My build was and still is mainly aimed for tankiness and damage, although it's not as good as many other builds. In the current meta, due to how outdated it is, I try to keep it as relevant as I could.
Yeah, I can see that. Many people did notice that. And if there's anything you'd like to change about your build after reviewing everything, what would it be?
I definitely would want all of the heavy talents, like Heavy Hitter or Steel Filter, and I would like to have Reinforce instead of Rally. Just overall having some of the new talents would be nice.
That sounds great. Well, it was great having you, Shirafune, on the WokenPodcast. And will you be participating? Will you be a part of any other tournaments? Maybe the Seiji tournament or the one hosted by Agamatsu in the future?
I would love to attend more tournaments, as I have a hard time playing under pressure, so I think it will be good experience to have and to help me improve as a player. I will check those tournaments out for sure if I can attend.
Great, that sounds great. It was great having you on the show. Thanks for coming on, and please make sure to check out Shirafune in the description or in the comments. She's going to be an update. She'll be making an update on her build, so make sure to check it out, guys. Alright, y'all, welcome back to the WokenPodcast. Today we have Ohm. He was in the recent tournament of Deepwoken. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good.
I'm doing great. Just speaking in general, how was the tournament for you, excluding any controversial stuff with the first bracket?
I do think it was a lot of fun. I was pretty nervous at first. Like when the tournament first got announced, I was shaking every day. I was preparing, but it took me a little while. I think it was fun. I was pretty upset at myself for losing, but I mean, it is what it is. I think it's a great tournament, other than the controversies.
So
for sure.
With the first match, was there any like nervousness, or were you just going jet in and you're like confident?
I was trying to stay confident. My hands were like going numb. But overall, I was pretty confident I was going to win my first match. I was just, a little nervous. But the longer the tournament went on, I definitely got a little less
And
nervous.
your first match was up against Infected, right?
Infected.
And then you moved on to the losers bracket, if I'm not mistaken, the second bracket.
Yeah, I fought Agamatsu second round and got sent to losers. Shouldn't have used rapier versus that guy, but it is what it is. I then fought Kael. Close match. Literally down to 0.3% on the last round. So it is what it is. I got kind of cheated out of it, but because tournament rules and all. But it is what
Unfortunate
it is.
loss,
Not mad at
now
Kael.
with your build, was there any aim really? Like, was it tankiness or high output damage in a short period of time?
I had basically the max health that was allowed. I had only 50 Thunder Call on the build, so elemental damage wasn't that much. But yeah, overall it was just like a tank build. I definitely shouldn't have went Thunder though. That element is so bad.
You should have went Thunder Call, right? Is that what you said?
No, I shouldn't have. That shit is
Oh, you shouldn't.
horrible. I should have probably went like Ice. Ice is definitely just way better.
That makes sense.
sure.
That adds up. So you were going for tankiness, the max amount of HP, and just amount damage, really?
Yeah, my damage was just like alright. I had a Yunshul enchant, so that kind of carried me for my damage. But elemental, my mantras didn't really do that much. So yeah, mostly just long matches that were pretty boring sometimes. But
Now, in your
yeah.
opinion, comparing to the other builds that we had in the tournament, which one was your favorite?
Ooh, probably Infected, the guy I fought first. His build was probably the most unique out of every build. It was like a Rapier Shadow build. Nobody else used Shadow.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody was kind of curved and stupid things. So yeah,
To end
for
it
sure
off,
that one.
what would have been any changes you would make to your build after you reviewed everything?
Probably would have went 60 Thunder Call. Probably care less about HP. Got Detonation on my Rapier and probably went Frost. That's about it.
That's about it. I see. That makes sense. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. It was amazing having you, man. Unfortunate loss. I think
no
will
problem.
you be participating? Will you be part of the next tournament? I think Seiji's hosting it.
I hope so. I don't know. We'll see. Oh,
Yeah.
Seiji's tournament? No, I could probably ask him. I haven't contacted him. Maybe. I'm not a big PvP guy, to be honest.
Alright, well,
but-
good luck with that. Make sure to check out home in the description, guys. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Alright, thank
guys,
you.
welcome back to the Welcome Podcast. And today we have another guest from the tournament. YpcNate, please welcome him onto the show. Now, in general, talk to me about how was the tournament, excluding any controversial stuff, like starting with the first bracket.
The tournament, it was fine. My first bracket, the dude didn't show up, so I got a bye. And then I fought Nano, it was pretty close regardless. It was, I think the first fight, he won by 7%, and then the next one, it was lower than 10%. But it was, I ain't gonna lie, I knew Nano was gonna be a problem, so I knew the bracket was already, from the jump, was already kind of tough. But, yeah,
So
it was fine.
So when going to the first match, were you excited or was it nervousness? What was up with that?
I'll be honest, I was more just, I was feeling everything, to be honest. I'm not gonna say I just wasn't nervous from it, but I was more excited.
I see that. Yeah, that makes sense. So what was the main aim of your build? Was it tankiness or explosive damage or speed?
For my build, I'll be honest, I was trying to be like just a glass tank, and then have, even though I think I was kind of squishy or pretty squishy, I had that regen move, so I did a whole bunch of damage with my mantras, but I also healed a bunch of my mantras too. I knew eventually after the tournament
now
gonna
for
get
anyone,
better, because it was extremely busted.
now for anyone wondering, yeah, that makes sense. And for anyone wondering, the ice move is called Iceberg. To anyone complaining about him using it, to be fair, come on, it's a free region, who wouldn't use it? So now, if there's anything you'd like to change about your build after reviewing everything, what would it be?
Honestly, back then I feel like that build was I don't think there's anything I'd change about it. I feel like if I didn't get removed from tourney, I would have still probably got really far. Because it was just like, it was really hard to play against that build. Until they like limited my iceberg uses and all that. Yeah, it was really hard to play against that build. Especially if you
So
ran,
you would not change
you had to be aggressive against it.
So you wouldn't change any enchant about it? Or
If I had to change, I ain't gonna lie, I changed the enchant to like a chillin'. I'd use a chillin' enchant. But aside from that, yeah, I would keep everything because Yuncho didn't really proc a lot. Like it barely proc that turn.
Well, actually, I wanted to ask: would you be willing to participate in any other tournaments?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna be in
CG1?
other tournaments. I feel I'm definitely gonna get back in the Deepwoken scene because I feel like I'd always played Deepwoken, but my content I wasn't really consistent with it as much. So I feel like now with seeing how people reacted to that tourney, bro, I plan on coming back and doing like much more like PvP stuff. Because genuinely, like people really did underestimate how much I actually did PvP. Because I've been playing since Wave 0. It's not like I was just new to the game.
I see. So you're planning on a redemption arc?
Yeah, most definitely. And then I'm really excited for it.
Oh, good luck with that, man. It was great having you.
Appreciate it.
Have a great day, man.